The employment center on Veyra Prime smelled of stale air and hopelessness. Kaelith sat in the cracked plastic chair, wings folded tight, her daughter asleep against her side. The room was full of beings from every corner of the galaxy, some tall and glittering with bioluminescence, others squat and armored, all waiting for a chance at work. Yet every time the recruiter's eyes passed over Kaelith, they slid away quickly, as though she carried disease. The truth was simpler. She was a single mother, and no one wanted the burden of a child tagging along. Kaelith tried to look confident when her name was called. She rose, smoothing her scales and clutching the documents she had rewritten countless times. Her resume listed years of experience as a technician, certifications in atmospheric maintenance, and commendations from her home colony. But her world had been destroyed in the wars, her people scattered like ash. Those papers were just ghosts of a life that no longer existed. Applicant Kaelith, droned the recruiter, a tall insectoid with mandibles clicking. You are requesting placement in cargo management? Yes, Kaelith said, steadying her voice. I can lift loads, repair equipment, track manifests.
The
recruiter raised a claw. Your child. Kaelith's spines bristled defensively. Lyra stays with me. Always. The recruiter hissed, stamping the papers. Denied. Next. She stood frozen for a moment, humiliation burning her chest. Then she gathered her daughter into her arms and walked out under the cold neon lights of the city. No one wanted her. That evening, as Kaelith sat on a bench outside the center, Lyra stirred. The girl's eyes, bright and unbroken, looked up at her. Did they say yes, Mama? Kaelith's throat closed. She forced a smile. Not today, little star. But we'll keep trying. Lyra frowned. They're silly. You're the best at fixing things. Kaelith kissed her daughter's forehead, tears stinging her eyes. Maybe one day someone will believe that too. The next morning, Kaelith tried again. The line outside the employment center was longer than ever. Whispers carried of a new arrival, humans, fresh to Veyra Prime, looking for workers. Humans. Kaelith had heard stories. Young as a species, reckless, stubborn. Too quick to laugh, too quick to fight. But some also said they were different, that they valued things others overlooked. When her turn came, Kaelith stepped nervously into the small office where the human recruiter sat. He was tall, broad-shouldered, with dark hair tied back and a data pad in hand. His jacket was worn at the seams, but his eyes were sharp and alive. He looked up when she entered, and unlike the others, he didn't immediately look past her. Kaelith, he asked. His voice was warm, unhurried. Yes. She shifted, wings twitching nervously. I am seeking placement. And this is your daughter? He glanced at Lyra, who peeked from behind her mother's cloak. Kaelith's guard went up instantly.
Yes.
She is mine. If that disqualifies me, say it now and we'll leave. The human leaned back in his chair, studying them both. Then he smiled.
No.
Not disqualified. Kaelith blinked. What? I'm Marcus Hale, he said, offering his hand. Captain of the freighter Iron Wind. I need a systems tech. You're qualified. That's enough for me. Her claws trembled as she stared at his hand. But my child comes with you, Marcus said simply. Every crew member deserves family. She'll be safe with us. For a long moment, Kaelith could only stare. Then, slowly, she reached out and clasped his hand. Life aboard the Iron Wind was nothing like the refugee camps. The ship was old, patched and scarred, but alive with the hum of engines and the steady rhythm of work. Marcus introduced Kaelith to the crew, Jory, a sharp-tongued pilot, Ren, a gruff mechanic, and Mila, a medic who smiled gently at Elira and gave her a small plush toy sewn from scraps of fabric. Kaelith threw herself into her duties. She repaired failing circuits, calibrated the oxygen filters, and organized the cargo hold with a precision that even Run begrudgingly admitted was impressive. At first, she expected suspicion, maybe resentment. Instead, she found something startling: acceptance. Marcus treated her not as a burden, but as an equal. He asked for her opinion, trusted her judgment, and when Elira darted through the halls giggling, he only laughed. One evening, as they shared a meal in the mess, Marcus said, "You are wasted in that employment center. They couldn't see what you're worth." Kaelith lowered her gaze and used to such words. "I am a single mother. Most see that as weakness." "Then they're fools," Marcus said firmly. "You're strong enough for 2 lives. That's not weakness. That's the strongest thing I've ever seen." Her chest tightened, and for the first time in years, Kaelith felt a flicker of pride instead of shame. Not all journeys were smooth. On the trade lanes, pirates often prowled. One night, alarms blared as raiders closed in on the Iron Wind. Kaelith rushed to the engine room, sealing the doors while the ship shook from weapons fire. Elira clung to her, wide-eyed with fear. "Stay here," Kaelith told her, forcing calm into her voice. "Mama has to work." She dove into the consoles, rerouting power, patching circuits even as sparks singed her claws. Marcus's voice crackled over comms. "We need shields back online, Kaelith." "I'm on it," she snapped, forcing a bypass. The lights flickered, then steadied. Energy surged, and the shields roared back to life. The Iron Wind fought free of the raiders and jumped into hyperspace. When the ship finally steadied, Marcus appeared in the engine room, bruised but grinning. "You saved us." Kaelith, panting, turned to Elira, who stared up at her with awe. "Did you see, little star? We are not weak." Weeks turned into months. Kaelith grew into her role, her confidence returning like sunlight breaking through clouds. Elira thrived, learning from the crew, her laughter echoing in the corridors. And Marcus became more than just a captain. He was steady, kind, and always believed in them. One night, as they watched the stars from the viewport, Kaelith spoke softly. "No alien wanted to hire me. They saw only burden. But you," her voice wavered. "Why did you give me a chance?" Marcus glanced at her, then back at the stars. "Because I know what it's like to be written off. Back on Earth, I grew up in a place where no one expected anything from me. Someone gave me a chance. Changed my life. I figured it was my turn to do the same." Kaelith's claws tightened on the railing. "You saved more than my life. You gave my daughter a future." He smiled gently. "Then I'd say we both made the right choice." Years later, on the frontier worlds, travelers spoke of the Iron Wind, of its human captain, his Zerani technician, and the bright-eyed child who grew up among the stars. They became a symbol, not of contracts or wages, but of second chances and the strange, unyielding kindness of humanity. Kaelith never forgot the benches outside the employment center, the sting of rejection, the despair of being unwanted. But more than that, she never forgot the moment a human looked at her and saw not a burden, but worth. No alien had wanted her, but a human gave her a chance. And that chance became everything.